Hey, this is D the Cheapskate. I'm going to show you today how I made a control panel here for my HO train set. I've seen others similar to what I'm going to show you here today, but they're quite a bit more expensive. On my set, I'm using the snap track. In my demonstration that I'll be bringing up here in a few minutes, I'm using easy track, but that's just because it's what I still had laying around. Each of these changes to the direction, changes green on the direction that you want to go. If I wanted to go up the red line right here, I just push the switch towards it. The light turns green, the other one goes to red. Now I'm set to run up this track. It's really simple, but it does take a little bit of time. And so let's get started here and I'll show you how I did it. We're going to have a little demonstration now on which resistors you'd want to use. I found that when I made mine, I started out with them nice and bright. But when I went to a night scene on my railroad by turning the lights out in the room, they were so bright that it blinded me and I couldn't even see the control panel. So you need to dim them down. What I used was a 10K ohm on the green side and a 4.7K on the red side. It takes different voltages to light up LEDs depending on the color. So that's why your resistors are different. The power pack right here is out of a computer. I'm not going to bother with any how-tos on to make one of these. There's several videos out here already, but once you've got one right there, you get 3 volts, 12 volts, and 5 volts out of it. 5 volts are what we use to light the LEDs. We also have an 18-volt transformer back here, just a standard for any railroad. On the 18 AC side, that's what you use to move your track. It's what controls the magnets. So we have 5-volt power running our switch and 18-volt power actually moving the track. So when we switch it back and forth, you can see the track move here. So this is what we're going to be building. It's really quite simple. It just takes a little while to do. But if you're like me and you got time and very little money, this is the way to go. Here's a simple schematic that I drew just to show how this switch operates. You've got your 5-volt power, 18-volt power, momentary switch, latching relay, your easy track, and your 2 LEDs.
Okay, here's a little better picture to make a screen capture from of this schematic. So once you've got it up, all you do is just press the print screen button. You'll find in the upper right section of your keyboard. Press it once, and then we can close up. Now I'll go to all programs and I'll find accessories and WordPad. Right click, left click on paste, and now you have your picture here that you can print, and it came out pretty good. So that's how you do it. So I'm just giving it to you here so that you can see. I'll bring it up one more time. And there's a good picture for you.
We're going to begin building it now. The relays that I used are dual position, dual throw. That means they move down one direction and the other. The more expensive relays out there have a coil on each end. So you simply power it and it pulls the relay to it. On the one that we're building right here, it's actually going to reverse the polarity. That's how it sends the coil back the other direction. When we build it, the top wire right here goes to the middle on the momentary switch. The next one is your DC 5-volt, your positive. The one down at the bottom, I have top right written on it. That's simply because this terminal simply goes around the top and connects to the top right here on the other side of the coil. The bottom one here is your negative 5 volts DC. It connects out here to other leads as well as to the one on the opposite side right here. This is also a negative DC 5 volt. The two white wires right here, these go to your red and green LED leads. Alright, the relays, these can be bought on eBay along with everything else that I've used here today. They can be had for $1 a piece. Your momentary switches for $1 a piece, the rest of them are pennies. So I'll give you a complete rundown here shortly, but for now, I just want to show you that these relays, you can tell which end is the coil by the end that has the line drawn on it. The opposite end are two poles that aren't even used. They don't connect to anything in this particular application. So when you buy them, I was getting them in these blister packs. This one right here contains 5. They're well protected. I've never had a problem with anything that I've bought. Now, you don't want to be in a hurry because it's almost all coming from China, so it'll usually take about 3 weeks, sometimes a little touch more, but as long as you're not in a hurry and you're just wanting to save some money like me, there wasn't any problem. So let's start building the thing. Now, I've positioned the relay here with the coil end at the top. And it's always a good idea to go ahead and tin your contacts. Makes it easier for the wire to stick. You don't have to have heat on it for quite so long. You don't want to connect to like I just did. All right. So now we're going to start adding our wires. The first one is the green one. It goes to our momentary switch. Now our 5 volt positive DC. The blue-green wire that goes around to the other side and connects to the opposite side of the coil. It goes right around here. And connects to the top lead of your coil. Now we have our negative 5 volt. On the other side, first one down is our red and green lead. These are both white, and it doesn't matter which one is which. Next one is 5 volts negative again. And the last one is the second lead to our LED green, red and green LEDs. Okay. Now we're going to connect our negatives, one from each side. And these are 2-inch pieces. And we're going to connect those together with 2 more LED or black 4-inch pieces of wire. I'm going to tin these together. Do the same with these 2. And we'll add these. And we'll cover those with a heat shrink here in just a second. On the red positive, we need to connect 3 pieces of 4-inch. And we'll just put a little solder on those. And connect them to the 5-volt lead we have here. Now we'll add heat shrink tubes. So we'll cover the 3 reds. And our blacks. And we'll shrink them down. Okay, now we're going to put our LEDs together. Okay, we're going to get our bezels ready. The ones I bought only have 2 holes here in the little plastic keeper. Since we're going to have 3 leads, we're going to need to make some more room here. So I'm just going to open that hole up with a Dremel. They're plastic. It takes nothing to cut the little slot across. And those are ready now. Now we're going to cut the lead off of our red, blue, green LEDs here. You can see on the picture that the short one on the left is red. The longest one is your positive. The short one on the right is blue, and the middle length one is green. So we're going to cut off this blue one because we don't need it in this application. So I'm going to take the blue one off of here. Do it on both of them. Now we're going to take the plastic keepers out of the bezels. Just push it out from the other side. And we're going to put it the way that I just cut it right here. That's going to be on the outside. We're going to run our leads through. Because this is what holds it into the bezel when you push it all the way down in. So we've got that. Now we're going to take the red one on the left here. The longest one is the positive. The green one on the right. We're going to take the positive, pull it towards us, and bend it down just a little bit. We're going to do the same with the other one. Push the bezel out, or the keeper out of the bezel. Put our light in. We're going to have the red on the left, which is the shortest. So we're going to take the positive, pull it towards us, bend it down a little. And now we're going to take the 2 positives and put them together. I'm going to wrap them here with a piece of, with some pliers, and then solder them. These are our positive leads. One more time. Okay, little solder. And now we'll add the resistors. I've trimmed off the resistor down to about a ½ an inch right here. The 4.7s go on the red side, which was your short lead. And the 10s go on the green. We'll do this on the opposite side. It didn't stick quite good enough. Just to make sure that we don't have any shorting going on up on top, I'm going to put a heat shrink on here that'll cover most of this. So I'll trim them off right about here. Two more of the smaller ones. And we're going to slip them over, leaving just enough of the wire out to solder. Okay, now the red and green, we're going to bring them together and solder them. Same on the opposite side. Now these connect to the white wires. These are your red and green leads coming off the relays. I've already placed a heat shrink on each of them. So I'll connect them. I'll bring that down over the other wires. And let's go ahead and shrink these. All right, and now we'll bring the other down, covering up all the exposed. Alright, now I've got some electrical tape here. I'm just going to cut off 3 pieces. Cut off one, a little better than an inch there. A couple of them about 3 inches. And we're going to take our relay out of the visor. And we're going to carefully bend our wires down. I like to hold them with the needle nose so that it doesn't break any contacts loose. And I'll bend them down. I'll do the same on the opposite side. Alright, take my short piece, tape it together here just to hold the wires together. Take the two long ones, run one across, making sure none of your leads right here are touching each other. And we'll put a piece of tape across it that way. And we'll put one across the opposite way. And that takes care of your relay and your LEDs. Now we're going to take one of the red 5 volts right here, and we're going to solder it onto the positive lead of the LEDs. I'll have to put a little bit of solder on that red wire first here to get it to stick. Oh, and I want to put a heat shrink on it too, just to cover it up, try to prevent any shorts. Okay. Let's slide the heat shrink down now and cover that up. Shrink it down. And we're good on that. Now we're ready for the momentary switch. Okay, our momentary switch, it has two different sides. It's a dual position, dual throw switch. One side will be switching the track, the other side switches the lights. So on the side for the lights right there, and this is a switch that is normally open, which means it's spring loaded and always returns to center when you let it go. Whichever direction you push, it always returns to center. Now we're going to attach our momentary switch to our relay and LEDs. The 5 volt red power on one side of the momentary switch. Hook it on the left or the right, doesn't matter. The green one connects to the center one. And one of your black leads connects to the last one. The opposite side of the momentary switch is what we'll be using to switch our train track. So now the only leads that are still left on here are a 5 volt red positive and a black 5 volt negative. And these are what you connect to your power supply. Now on the opposite side, I'm going to put a little bit of solder on them. And I'm just going to connect 3 wires here that I've cut off just so I can connect it to my power supply so you can see that it works. Trim these down just a little bit. When I built my control box, I ran my hot and negative leads from side to side, and then I was able to just tap onto it anywhere with my 5-volt leads here off my relays. So let's connect our 3 wires. We have the wire out to our track. We have a positive lead that goes to our transformer. And we have the lead that goes to the other side of the railroad track. One's for the turn, one's for the straight through. And now we're going to mount it onto a couple of our little boards right here. Okay, when you're making your control box, I used 1/4-inch plexiglass, and I used pinstriping tape of different colors for my different sections of track. So we want to drill these at the intersection and then one up on each track, and you get something that looks like this. On my my plexiglass for my control panel, when you peel off the plastic on the back here, then I just simply spray painted it with a light blue color. So we have these. Now we're going to install our bezels into the track holes. And tighten our nuts up. All right. Now I'm going to take my switch out of here, and we're going to install it in the last hole. And once again, it doesn't matter right off the bat right here which direction it goes in, because if it's wrong, you just turn it over. And I usually like to align the switch with the holes. That way, on a section where the holes are going up and down, you know you flip your switch up and down. If they're sideways, you know you flip your switch sideways. Our LEDs now, we just poke up in the holes. And outside connecting it to our power supply, we're ready to go. So far as the price of the parts here that we'll be using, the relays you can buy off of eBay 10 for $10, so $1 a piece. And the parts list is going to be here below the video. The switches, I was able to buy 30 of those for $30. So once again, $1 a piece. And all of this is free shipping on eBay. I always hunt for the free shipping because I'm cheap. On the bezels, for 5mm chrome finish, I bought 50 of them for $3.91. So that's 8 cents a piece. The LEDs, 5mm, red, green, and blue, 4-pin. I bought 100 of them for $4.97. That's a nickel a piece. The resistors, I was able to buy 100 of each size for $2.50. So that's 3 cents a piece for the resistors. The wire, you need about 3 feet of 22 gauge, and you don't have to have different colors the way I did. I was just doing that for demonstration purposes. When I made my own, every wire in there is black. I bought 100 foot of it for $10.35. That's 11 cents a foot. So you can do the entire switch for a total of about $2.71. If you've got 20 of them on your board the way I do, you've done the entire thing for $54 and some change. This will save you about $50 over the larger relays, because they've run, the ones that I was looking at, run about $3.50 a piece, so you're saving at least $2.50 on each one of them. So you can see the savings here.